back in your life. Co-presented by Star Health Insurance, the health insurance specialist. Co-presented by JK Tyre Ranger Series. Stay wild at heart. Powered by NECC. Sunday ho ya Monday, roz khao ande.
Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today. Monday night, your primetime destination news, newsmakers, talking points. The big talking point, the Sidhu Moose Wala murder. Was he a Supari victim? Was he a victim of a gang war that's breaking out in Punjab today? That's going to be the big story we're going to be tracking. Also, we'll have a special with the UPSC Civil Service Examination toppers. Ankita Agarwal, Gamini Singla will be joining me here tonight. But first, as always, the 9 headlines at 9. The Enforcement Directorate arrests the Delhi Health Minister Satyendra Jain for an alleged connection to Hawala transactions linked to a Kolkata-based company. AAP accuses the BJP of vendetta politics. Jain is the first senior AAP minister now to face these charges and be jailed. Day after the famous Punjabi singer Sidhu Moose Wala's murder in broad daylight, Punjab police detained one suspect in Dehradun. The Mann government, under pressure, appoints a Judicial Commission, promises that they will find out who the murderers were. India Today accesses full 8-hour footage of the Gyan Vapi Mosque survey, latest and clearest video of claimed shibling in the survey tapes. The Varanasi court now defers hearing till the first week of July. Anger builds within a section of the Congress over loyalists making it to Rajya Sabha, while others claim, like actor Nagma, saying Sonia Gandhi backtracked on an 18-year-old pledge to give her a Rajya Sabha seat. Ally JMM denies Congress request to give it an additional seat from Jharkhand. Chaos and brawl after ink thrown at farmer leader Rakesh Tiket at a Bengaluru briefing. People seen throwing chairs at each other. Police detained 3 people. UPSC results declared. Women lead the toppers list. All India ranks 1, 2 and 3, bagged by Shruti Sharma, Ankita Agarwal and Gamini Singla. Rainfall lashes Delhi, NCR and surrounding areas, accompanied with strong winds and hailstorm reported in some places. Trees uprooted, traffic snarls in many areas. And Gujarat Titans receive a rousing reception post the IPL 2022 maiden win. Players felicitated by the Gujarat Chief Minister after an open-top bus parade in Ahmedabad. In a shocking incident from Paris, man dressed as an old woman smears cake on Mona Lisa portrait. Video breaks the internet. But first, the news that's breaking at this moment. India Today has accessed the full 8-hour-long, completely unedited footage of the survey that was conducted just a week ago on May 14, 15, 16 at the contentious Gyan Vapi Mosque. This is the footage where reportedly it is claimed there is a shivling inside the Gyan Vapi Mosque along with markings of trishuls on the wall. It is this shivling that eventually led to a dispute that took the matter to the Supreme Court, which has now handed it back to the Varanasi court to first decide on the maintainability of the suit. Remember, the Hindu side and the Hindu petitioners in the case have insisted that they should be allowed access to be at the shivling, even as the area in and around it has been barred for namaz, while the mosque itself has allowed people to enter and continue with namaz. I'm joined by Samar Srivastav. He joined me. Samar, this comes on a day when the entire issue of the maintainability of the suit still persists before the Varanasi court. This survey report will be an important element before the court. But give us a sense of what the judges have been saying so far on the controversy and what happens next, now that this survey report is out.
See, what judges are clearly saying are in a vision because they have not contended that it's a Shivling or a Shah. But what is important is what the Hari Shankar Jain has said and what Vishnu Jain said and what Muslim side is saying. Because Muslim side is keeping on saying that it is not a Shivling, it's a fountain. While the Hindu side claims that it's a Shivling. And I have been joined by one of the petitioners, the first petitioner in this Shangar Gauri case, Ms. Ranjana Agnihotri. I'll try to speak to him and get what was there. Ranjana, you went inside during the survey and you must be seeing on India Today TV the footages. After seeing the footages, what first thought coming to your mind?
The first thought came in my mind that it is a shivling, which I think it is a black basalt shivling, and it is very, very precious stone. And shivling is lying since more than 300 years beneath the water, in which people of Muslim community are taking bath, wuzu, etc. So many things. So we are very much hurt. Our sentiments are very much hurt. Our arad is lying like this. And I filed first suit on behalf of Mata Shingar Gauri, which is numbered as 350 of 2021. It was filed on 18th February 2021, in which entire area of Avimukteshwar Kshetra has been claimed for declaration for title and for darshan puja of Mata Shingar Gauri. It is very relevant to mention here that we were praying for Mata Shingar Gauri and Baba came out.
But Ranjana, in your suit, you mentioned that it will be about the Shangar Gauri, regarding the prayers around Shingar Gauri. There was no mention of Shivling at all. But when you saw that Shivling, what that case deviated or it got strengthened?
No. My suit, which was numbered as 350 of 2021, in which it was already mentioned Mata Shingar Gauri through next friend Ranjana Agnihotri and Bhagwan Adi Vishweshwar. Means we have already mentioned in our plaint that there is a Shivling just before the Nandi who is Virajman.
You have mentioned that in the report.
Yes, exactly. My suit, exactly in our suit, which is numbered as 350 of 2021. It is title suit and declaration and for restraining the Muslims to enter in the premises.
But Muslims are claiming that it's a shower. How you like saying, because there is one object.
You know.
Okay. So Rajdeep, she was Ranjana and she was saying that in her suit, because she was the first petitioner of the Shangar Gauri case, that she mentioned about that particular Nandi face towards Shivling. But what is evident that the entire case has been urgent till July 4, and now as the footages have come out, Hindu side is saying that it will strengthen their part because number one, it will hit the sentiments. Number two, they'll be able to give objection in the report submitted by Vishal Singh, Special Advocate Commission, on the basis of these video footages.
In any case, the next hearing is on the 4th of July, you said. So the next legal battle, in a sense, will be on the 4th of July. The political battle will continue as these images are put out. I also want to say the judge very clearly said that those who've leaked the video will be fined 3,000 rupees. Now we have to see who the judge is willing to fine. The tapes are now spreading across channels, and those tapes will be an important part of the judicial hearing that takes place in 5 weeks from now. Let's turn from there to the other story that's breaking this evening. The Enforcement Directorate a short while ago has arrested Delhi's Health Minister Satyendra Jain in a money laundering case. The Enforcement Directorate claims Jain was arrested for an alleged connection to Hawala transactions linked to a Kolkata-based company. The Aam Aadmi Party has alleged vendetta by the BJP, accusing them of using the Enforcement Directorate and the arrest to block Jain's visit to Himachal Pradesh, where he is the main party observer as the polls are there later this year. But the ED says it's been interrogating and investigating this case now for more than 2 years. So that is the latest that's coming in at the moment. Aam Aadmi Party calling the case against Satyendra Jain Farzi, even as the Delhi Health Minister has been arrested. So Delhi's Health Minister arrested a short while ago this evening over allegations of money laundering. That's the big headline that's coming in at the moment. Their ED action, according to the Aam Aadmi Party, is to stop Jain's arrest. The shots at the left of your screen are live shot that you're getting at the moment of the Enforcement Directorate office where Satyendra Jain has been taken. He's likely to be taken into ED custody, and we will wait and see what happens next in that case. Okay, let's move on from there to the next story. It is the story which has now captured the imagination of the country because it brings to light the links that exist between politics and gangsterism. Punjabi singer politician Sidhu Moose Wala's murder on Sunday has already seen plenty of twists and turns, from the shocking revelation of a Supari killing to the potential involvement of a notorious gang and the possibility that the singer himself was connected to gangsters. Top Punjab police sources revealing to India Today that 6 people have been detained for questioning and have been picked up based on their links with the notorious Lawrence Bishnoi gang in Punjab. But why was a singer politician who had joined the Congress in November tangled with the gangsters? It's our other big story today.
A gruesome murder that has shocked the nation. Popular Punjabi rapper Sidhu Moose Wala killed in cold blood, opening a can of worms in Punjab. Moosewala's bereaved father wrote a letter to Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann seeking a thorough CBI and NIA investigation. The father also sought a public apology from Punjab's DGP for downgrading Sidhu's security. India Today accessed the copy of Moosewala's father's FIR, which reveals that Sidhu received multiple threats from gangster Lawrence Bishnoi. The father in the FIR claimed that the gang threat led to the singer buying a bulletproof SUV, which he chose not to drive on the fateful day. The father, who was tailing Moosewala with 2 security persons, fearing for his life, saw his Thar SUV being intercepted by a Corolla sedan, and men from a Bolero SUV opening fire before fleeing.
The vehicle which was being used by the attackers is a Bolero car having number DL10CT0196, and as per the inputs what we are getting from the police sources is that the number plate which is being used in this car is a fake number plate. While let me show you the visuals of this Bolero car, in which you can see that inside the car there is a number plate of Punjab PB05 AP6114. So it clearly seems that the attackers have already done a recce and they already had the information that Sidhu Moose Wala would be leaving without his security cover and without his bulletproof car.
Top Punjab police sources revealed to India Today that several suspects linked to Lawrence Bishnoi gang have been detained for questioning.
Investigation is on. No more information on this currently.
Have we detained any person right now?
You let the investigation go on. We'll come back to you when we have to. Thank you.
Any sort of gangster involved in this? Any person named involved right now?
We can't name anybody right now, but surely there's a conspiracy.
The probe further reveals that the vehicle used for Sidhu's murder had fake number plates. A pistol recovered from Moosewala's bullet-ridden car has been sent for forensic investigation.
You can see that officials from the forensic department are trying to take measurements of the bullet marks. They're trying to take the remnants of the cartridges that have been recovered from inside the Thar vehicle in which Sidhu Moose Wala was gunned down. These are the remnants that have been recovered. The forensic team is now looking in at, and they are taking the exact size of the bullet marks.
Moosewala family says that cut in the singer's security by the Aam Aadmi Party government was deliberately leaked to gangsters. The Punjab High Court has now asked the state government why sensitive details were made public. With Lalit Sharma, Arvind Ojha and Shreya Chatterjee, Bureau Report, India Today.
So let's raise the big question. Was there a threat assessment done before the security downgrade of the singer politician? Is the Aam Aadmi Party guilty of playing political populism over security of VVIPs? Is the AAP government out of its depth in Punjab, or is Punjab simply trapped in gang wars that are existing on the ground? Was Sidhu Moose Wala part of these gangs? Let's look at the big question. Joining us now on the show at the moment, I'm joined by, from the Aam Aadmi Party, joining me now is Mr. Grewal. I'm joined by Jangveer Singh, spokesperson, Shiromani Akali Dal, Adil Singh Boparai, Congress spokesperson, Abad Singh Grewal, Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson. Also joining me is former Punjab DGP Shashikant. Appreciate your joining us. But first, I want to go to Daler Mehendi, because Daler Mehendi was seen as a symbol, an iconic symbol of the entire wide industry of Punjabi music and singers, which has captured the imagination across the world. But दलेर भाई, आप बताइए, जब आपने सुना कि सिद्धू मूसेवाला को इस तरह से मारा गया है, क्या आपको भी लगा कि कहीं गैंग वॉर इसमें इन्वॉल्व है? क्या लगा आपको पहले?
नहीं, मुझे जो लगा कि जो मैंने उनका वीडियो, सब मेरे पास जो आए, जो मैंने जो वीडियो देखे, और उसमें मुझे बहुत हैरानी हुई कि आपको मेरी आवाज़ आ रही सर?
हाँ, बिल्कुल आ रही है
देसाई सर। मैंने आप जी, तो मुझे बहुत हैरानी हुई कि जिस तरह वो अकेले एक थार में निकले हैं, और बहुत सिंपल सी थार में वो निकले, उनके साथ कह रहे थे कि 2 लोग और थे। वो मुझे बहुत सुन के हैरानी, क्योंकि पंजाब में एक ऐसा कल्चर बन गया है कि जो भी सिंगर है वो उसके कुछ आता है या नहीं आता है, वो कुछ है या नहीं है, उसके साथ 5-10 बाउंसर वो अपनी सिक्योरिटी के लेके चलता है हरदम साथ में, और कम से कम 2-3 गाड़ियाँ चलती हैं हर सिंगर के साथ। पर ये मैं बहुत हैरान हूँ कि ये एकदम घर से जब निकले हैं तो अकेले निकले हुए हैं, और वो मैं देख के बड़ा मुझे दुख हुआ। दूसरा, पहली बात तो ये है कि कोई भी हो, चाहे सिद्धू मूसेवाला जी हो, कोई आम आदमी बिल्कुल सड़क चलता भी हो जिसको कोई नहीं जानता, इस तरह वारदात करनी बहुत ही दुखदाई है। और मैंने कभी उनका कोई गाना सुना नहीं है, नाम सुना था क्योंकि बहुत मशहूर है, लेकिन कभी उनका गाना नहीं सुना, कोई लिरिक्स नहीं मैंने सुने, तो मैं ज़्यादा नहीं कह सकता हूँ क्या है। पर देख के, न्यूज़ सुन के बहुत दुख हुआ कि इतना बड़ा नाम और एकदम इस तरह ट्रीटमेंट की गई।
आप जब पंजाब जाते हैं, आप कितने सिक्योरिटी गार्ड्स आपके साथ रहते हैं?
अब मैं मतलब ये कि मैं क्या बताऊँ कि मुझे बहुत हैरानी आती है, और अपने आप पे बहुत हंसी भी आती होती कि मैं और कभी फैमिली के साथ ऐसी अकेले निकल जाता हूँ। और मेरी तो आदत है कि मैं किसी बाज़ार में घुस जाता हूँ, कहीं पटियाला गया तो कभी जग्गी स्वीट में चला गया, कभी किसी के पास खाने चला गया, तो कोई बिंदास, कभी सिक्योरिटी वगैरह मैं नहीं रखता हूँ। लेकिन ये है कि
आपको कभी
पंजाब में जो मैंने कल्चर देखा है कि बहुत,
आपको कभी एक्सटॉर्शन थ्रेट्स मिले हैं?
मुझे कभी ऐसा हुआ। एक मेरे साथ एक बार बहुत बड़ी थी 2000 में, जब अबू सालिम ने हमारे ऊपर, मेरे ऑफिस में हमला किया था, और बोल के किया था कि इतने बजे हम आपके ऑफिस में आएंगे और गोलियां मारेंगे। तो मुझे विश्वास नहीं था कि ये अबू सालिम हैं। जब उन्होंने गोलियां चलाई, फिर उनका फ़ोन आया कि हमारे आदमी ने आपके ऑफिस में गोलियां चलाई, अब आपको यकीन हो गया मैं अबू सालिम हूँ? तो मैंने कहा जी बिल्कुल यकीन हो गया। और थोड़ी देर में पुलिस आई, पुलिस ने मुझे बताया कि ये अबू सालिम के लोग थे। और फिर 1 साल मेरे साथ 12 गनमैन रहे हैं, 7 दिल्ली पुलिस वाले, 4 पंजाब पुलिस वाले, और फिर हरदम घर के अंदर 17 लोगों की टीम रहती थी राजस्थान पुलिस की। तो वो 1 साल वो जो गुजरा मेरा, और उसके बाद जब सिक्योरिटी वगैरह हट गई तो कोई टेंशन नहीं, कुछ नहीं।
आपने कभी ये पंजाब के गैंग वॉर्स के बारे में सुना था? ये जो गैंग्स जो कह रहे हैं कि हमने सिद्धू मूसेवाला को मारा है, आपने ये गोल्डी और ये लॉरेंस बिश्नोई गैंग के बारे में सुना था?
जी, मैंने कभी ये नाम मैंने पहले कभी नहीं सुने हैं। और हमारा एक्चुअली म्यूज़िक का काम है, और मेरे तो जितने आपको पता है गाने, सिर्फ सोल को झुमाना, 2-2 साल के बच्चों को नचाना, वर्डिंग ऐसी यूज़ करनी जिससे आपको मोटिवेशन मिले और आप फैमिली के साथ बैठ के गाने को सुन सके। अब रात को मेरा शो था आगरा में, 50,000 लोग थे हुनर हाट के अंदर, और 2 घंटे शो हुआ, खूब लोग नाचे। और जब मैं शो करके नीचे उतरा तब मुझे बुरी खबर मिली, पर मेरे साथ कभी ऐसा नहीं हुआ। और मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि पंजाब सरकार, केंद्र सरकार, पूरे इंडिया के अंदर जितनी भी लैंग्वेज हैं उनके ऊपर ध्यान दें कि जो गाने हैं वो किस तरह के चल रहे हैं। अगर नशे के ऊपर गाने चल रहे हैं, गैंग के ऊपर गाने चल रहे हैं, गन्स के ऊपर गाने चल रहे हैं, या गलत वर्ड यूज़ किए जा रहे हैं वुमेन के लिए, ऐसे गानों को पहले सिंगरों को वार्निंग दी जाए कि रोका जाए, तो ये बहुत कुछ चीज़ें कंट्रोल में हो सकती हैं।
दलेर मेहंदी जी, आपने हमसे बात की, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। दलेर मेहंदी, who remember is the iconic singer who started this revolution in Punjabi music. Let's turn to my panel, Mr. Grewal of the Aam Aadmi Party. Let's turn to the Aam Aadmi Party first, because the Aam Aadmi Party has the most to answer in this case. Do you concede now that this entire episode has pushed you, Mr. Grewal, on the back foot? Your government is barely 70 days old, and once again questions are being raised. Can the Aam Aadmi Party handle security in a sensitive state like Punjab? You're on mute. You're on mute, sir. You're on mute.
First of all, this is tragic. This is tragic, and this was totally avoidable. We accept responsibility. We accept there have been lapses, and those lapses will be surely, for sure, they will be discovered, and people responsible will be held to account.
No, lapses on whose part? Are you blaming your police leadership, or does the political leadership?
Sir,
because the decision of withdrawing VIP security for so many people does not only come through the police, it also comes because that's the direction the political leadership gives the police. Remove VIP security.
Okay. No, sir. First of all, security was not removed. This gentleman had security. Very unfortunately, that will also be investigated. He went without security. Our point,
his
Mr.
security was
Sardesai,
downgraded, sir. Please be clear.
Yes,
his security was downgraded.
Yes, sir. It was downgraded, but even the downgraded security he did not take along. If had there been security with him, there would have been an encounter. The thing is that there was nobody with the ability to fire back. He did not take, which is, look, I am not contesting anything. All I am saying is that this episode exposes the nexus, the narco-politico terror nexus that has been built in Punjab over the past 20 years, has been exposed. Very unfortunately, it has been because of the death of a young man, a promising young man. We do not want to run from our responsibilities. Aam Aadmi Party is the governing party in Punjab, and yes, there have been lapses, and yes, there will be accountability.
No, all you are saying is you're conceding lapses. We'll see about accountability and what accountability takes place. But Adil Singh Bopara, you want to respond? AAP says this is proof of the narco-crime nexus in which many leading Punjabi personalities are in a way linked. Even Sidhu Moose Wala today, it is being suggested, had used his connections to get apparently involved with a gang within his area
Mr. Sardesai, let me at the outset say that Mr. Moosewala was a man of unimpeachable integrity and character. He was a heartthrob for millions and millions of people across the world. But be that as it may, this is typical Aam Aadmi Party to pass the buck. The problem is that the Aam Aadmi Party has reduced governance to a social media gimmick. Security details should not be determined based on the political affiliation of the protectee. This mandates an objective threat assessment, which unfortunately appears to have not been done in this case. But what is ironical here is that the Aam Aadmi Party's ineptitude, their administrative inexperience, and their incompetency has led to this targeted killing. And I think the Aam Aadmi Party must squarely be held responsible for this. And the Home Department is with Mr. Bhagwant Mann. He was the one who was publicizing the withdrawal of security. He was the one who was trying to score petty political points on social media. So therefore, the Aam Aadmi Party cannot evade responsibility.
No, Aam Aadmi Party is responsible for what has happened yesterday. But Mr. Adil Singh Boparai, there are a series of instances of these gang war killings that have taken place. Shaganpreet Singh, who's Moosewala's manager, is accused in the killing of a gangster Vicky in August of 2021, and it is suggested that this was a revenge killing. So when you took Moosewala into your party in November, were you not aware of the background of Moosewala as well? He was a popular singer, but he too is reportedly involved with some of the local gangs.
That is factually incorrect, Mr. Sardesai, and it is unfortunate that the Aam Aadmi Party is trying to sully the good name of somebody who's no more with us. But
what is factually incorrect? What is factually incorrect? No, just a minute, Mr. Grewal. That a gangster was killed allegedly by the manager of Moosewala is incorrect?
Well, I am not the investigator in this case. The police would be in a better position to give facts. But I want to make it clear that Mr. Moosewala was a man of
Mr. Grewal, do not intervene, please.
We are very certain. But let me make my point. Mr. Sardesai. The problem is the Aam Aadmi Party's administrative inexperience and the fact that governance has been outsourced to the Delhi crew, who do not understand the complexities of Punjab. And this is the reason why the law and order is collapsing. There were religious clashes after decades in Patiala. There was an RPG attack on the Punjab intelligence building, and now this targeted killing of a singer, of somebody, of a promising young man, a politician belonging to the Congress party who has followings across the world. This demonstrates that the Aam Aadmi Party is not able to govern. PR cannot be a substitute to governance, Mr. Sardesai.
Okay, PR cannot be a substitute to governance, you say.
Cannot be a substitute to
governance. Just a minute. Let's give equal time to all. Jangveer Singh, your spokesperson of the Akali Dal, and many say that this narco-terror nexus and its involvement with gangsters, with international connections, Goldie Brar, who has taken responsibility based in Canada, many of them got a fillip during the Akali years. The Akali years was when this entire narco gangster linkages got deepened in Punjab. Do you concede that or not?
Well, this is something, which has been propagated by the Congress party, and particularly Rahul Gandhi, because he came to Punjab and 10 years back and he said, 70% of youth of Punjab are drug addicts. So this is a Congress ploy, and they built upon this to get to the Akalis, because the Akalis were responsible for record development in Punjab.
No, but you cannot deny the fact that narcotics were flourishing in parts of Punjab, and that's where the gangsters got their big money.
See, this is something which needs to be investigated, where, there is absolutely no proof, no evidence of the Shromani Akali Dal ever patronizing any gangster whatsoever. There's no proof since the last 20 years. Whereas, there have been instances in the last 5 years when we have seen all this taking place. So please don't say that Akali Dal is responsible for anything. There's nothing like this. We know drugs come from Pakistan. We know sometimes with drugs, arms also smuggled in. But that is the work of the Border Security Force. They control the border. There is a responsibility on every side. So please don't try to target the Akali Dal.
No one is targeting. Sir, the fact is that each of you will blame the other. Shashikant.
I'm not trying to blame anyone.
No, all of you are. No, please, let us not believe that gangsterism has come to Punjab only on Sunday with the killing of Sidhu Moose Wala.
How do drugs come into India?
Shashikant ji, as a former DGP, you're hearing, just a minute now, sir. You're hearing three politicians, you're hearing three politicians blaming each other. We have this time and again. The fact is, Sidhu Moosewala's killing has brought to light the possibility that you have gang wars taking place in Punjab, with links possibly to narcotics, with links possibly to extortion, which links probably to hired killers. Lawrence Bishnoi is a gangster in Tihar jail who reportedly has a gang of about 700 people operating in Punjab, Rajasthan, Haryana. What information can you give? What is your sense, your experience of this? Is this true or not?
Look, I'll just give short replies. First of all, I'll say that you talked to Dalek, probably his memory is fading. He knows about it. I know I had stood by him once and saved him when I was in Patiala. So he's forgetting that chapter, number one. Secondly, if you talk of narcotics, yes, they have been coming in Punjab. Additionally, they were going across through Punjab and whatever places they were to send to abroad or whatever. Number three, the first incident of gang killing was way back in 2006, when a person called Dimpy, when he had returned, he was hiding somewhere in UP. When he had come here, he was killed in Chandigarh. So it has been going on since 2006. But yes, again, of late, there has been a spur indeed. And the reason being, now these gangsters of Punjab are trying to follow the model of whatever Bombay, Delhi, etc., targeting music industry. And again, we have this kabaddi leagues coming up, which are rolling in money. They are targeting them. And once again, I'll say yes, certain politicians and certain gangsters and certain drug smugglers are indeed in cahoots.
So you're saying at the moment, you're saying these gangs are targeting specific individuals, almost like a extortion industry of the kind that we saw in Mumbai in the 1990s and early 2000s.
Precisely, that's what I said. They're following the Bombay and Delhi models. That's unfortunate. And coming to Moosewala's killing, yes, his security was reduced, but again, there was no point in publicizing that list, which had a security classification out in public. That was a big lapse on part of this particular government that we have here.
You know, that's an important point that you're making, a very, very important point. You're saying that even if you are downgrading security, do not publicize the list, do not make it some kind of a political propaganda point. This is the point, Mr. Grewal, where in a sense the Aam Aadmi Party's amateurishness, some would say, in governance is caught out. You want to send out a message that we are going to reduce VVIP security, people will support you, yes. But when you make it public, knowing that many of these people are potential targets, you're making them soft targets like Mr. Moosewala was.
Mr. Sardesai, you hit the nail on the head. Amateurish, yes. There was a mistake, there was a lapse, and yes, making the list public, wherever it has happened, was a lapse and it was wrong, number one. And people will be held accountable for that. But having said that, Mr. Shashikant has opened the bag of worms. Yes, there are politicians who are connected with them. Mukhtar Ansari stayed in Punjab jails. His relatives had a house across Ropar jail. For 4 years, UP government had to run around to the Supreme Court to get him back to UP. Okay, SOPU, PUSU, SOI, all the organizations, the student organizations from the nursery which bred all the gangsters in Punjab today. Believe you me, I was in college at that time. They have been raised by the Akalis. The Akalis raised the bogey. They supported them. And the Congress just went ahead and just carried the baton on. What we are saying is that this is a fundamental problem. The problem with our system is, yes, we are not escaping responsibility, but our system is that there is a deep-rooted criminal narco.
Who is accountable? No, Mr. Grewal, you started this show by saying, yes, there have been lapses. You are now admitting, yes, there has been an amateurishness in the way it has been dealt. You are saying, yes, responsibility. Who is it going to be fixed on? You've got the same police leadership in Punjab that the previous government had.
No, we do not. I did not say there's an amateurish in the way it has been done. I said there was an amateurish in the way the names got out to the media. That will be fixed, number one. Who is responsible? The responsibility squarely lies with the people who have been ruling Punjab for the past 20 years. These people who we call gangsters today were children. They were 4, 5, 6-year-olds. Today they have grown up. They have grown up under your umbrella. You have made them gangsters. You patronized them. You got people. You put cases on them, and you supported them through and through. Sir, they've been targeted killings in Punjab in 2017, in 2022. They've been bomb blasts. The RPG attack. What is happening? It is that the narco network that has been built by the politicians is being used by everybody for their own advantages.
I will give the other two politicians. They've ruled Punjab for 10 years each in the last 20 years. First, you, Adil Singh Boparai. The fact is that you cannot deny that for the last 20, 25 years, these gangs have flourished and they've become bigger. And many of them have deep political connects. How are you going to deny that today on the show? Stage a bold denial that these gangs have no political connection at all? They flourished under under Congress and Akali rule as well.
I'll respond to that. Mr. Sardesai, but some preliminary pointers. let us not fall for the Aam Aadmi Party's red herring. What is the issue at hand? Mr. Moosewala's security was drastically downgraded without any analysis, number one. The withdrawal was publicized. Number two, the protectees became sitting ducks. They became soft targets. These are the three issues. Number one. Number two, all this was done despite the intelligence inputs to the contrary. Mr. Moosewala's threat perception was high. So therefore, why was an analysis not done before Mr. Bhagwant Mann was publicizing the withdrawal on his social media platforms? Now, responding to your question, organized crime is a reality across the country. Nobody can deny that. But the question is, how do you respond to that? When the Congress party was in power, we extradited these narco smugglers from abroad. There was a case registered against a very senior Akali Dal leader who is still in jail in Patiala. We went after these gangsters. So therefore, the proof of the pudding lies in the eating. We took action. But organized crime is a reality. But the Aam Aadmi
Name one man, sir.
Please, Mr. Sardesai, this cannot be reduced to a shouting match. Please stop heckling me. Please stop heckling me.
You are politicizing drugs.
No, 1 minute. Let Jangveer speak now.
So at least let me complete.
No. Just a minute, Adil. Yes, Jangveer.
First, I want to tell Mr. Adil that he is politicizing an issue. He should know that a false, mischievous, malicious case was registered against Mr. Bikram Singh Majithia. And this case was registered at a thana which was specially formed for this purpose. And that 4 DGPs were changed. 4 DGPs were changed before this case was registered. You got a pliable officer to register the case. And it is a false case. Justice will be done in the case. What I'm trying to tell, the topic, Mr. Adil, please, you yourself said one should stick to the topic. You also trying this diversionary tactic, which was earlier done by Mr. Grewal. The topic is that who will take, where will the buck stop? And the buck should stop at Mr. Bhagwant Singh Mann. He's the chief minister. He gloated about the removal of the security. He officially claimed that I am removing VVIP culture. And this was done on whims and fancies. There was no security review meeting. And all this was done. The security was taken from Punjab. People who needed the security in Punjab were denied the security and it was taken to Delhi. 80 to 90 people have been posted to Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. Raghav Chadha has 4 security vehicles at his disposal. What about all this? Who will tackle this?
Can I for a moment get you back, Shashikant ji, because as I said, the mutual recrimination. Just a minute, sir. Shashikant ji, if you were advising Mr. Mann, the government of Aam Aadmi Party has now appointed a Judicial Commission headed by a sitting High Court judge to investigate this case. Is that the right way in your view, or do you need a complete change first in the security structure in Punjab at the moment, given these new realities that you're speaking about?
Look, once I was in charge of, I was head of the security wing. The proper way is every individual has his file, his or her file, in which the detailed security threat perception is given on the basis of the reports from the field, Punjab Police, Punjab Intelligence, and in important cases, even by the intelligence wing. Whenever the decision is to be taken to reduce or enhance or curtail or whatever, it has to be strictly and objectively on the basis of whatever is contained in those files.
Okay, so what you're saying is you need an objective security assessment of each individual. It cannot be reduced to a political football or political populism.
No way.
I also have a senior police officer who's just sent me a message on WhatsApp saying, remember, many of these guys have narco contacts. That is why they are getting caught and killed in what he's calling inter-gang rivalry. Either way, all of this is an embarrassment for the Punjab government. The Punjab government in particular today is clearly on the back foot, and the only way it can resolve it is by acting. The fact is now, talk comes cheap when you win an election. Once you're in power, Mr. Grewal, no, yes, you want to make a final point, Shashikant ji?
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing. When we talk about all these things, remember that the entire planning was done from a prison house, that is Tihar jail in Delhi. And jails are the best places, unfortunately, to plan and to ensure its meticulous implementation.
And that in a
most
sense reveals that
part.
another dark secret, that a gangster sitting in Tihar jail can in a way organize all these killings that have been taking place.
Our actions will speak.
Okay, your actions will speak, which is why we will wait and we will put you on test. Now you're not in the opposition, you are in the government.
Lack of administrative experience, which is speaking.
Oh, come on.
Okay, let's take a break. We've heard 4 interesting voices on the issue. It is the gang wars of Punjab, and it is extremely tragic the manner in which they are now playing out on the road. Let's take a break at this point. When we return, the UPSC results have been declared, and guess what? Women lead the toppers list. All India ranks 1, 2 and 3. We'll be speaking to 2 of the toppers on the other side. You're watching the news today. News without the noise. Ankita and Gamini on the other side.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com or call 9999892171.
You are watching India Today.
Welcome back. The UPSC final results were declared today, and the first 3 toppers of the exam are not surprisingly women. Shruti Sharma topped the UPSC Civil Service exam. She's a Stephanian from Delhi. Shruti received the first rank. Ankita Agarwal and Gamini Singla have secured the second and third rank. Ankita too is a Stephanian, I'm told. As many as 685 candidates were have been shortlisted for the IAS and many branches of the civil services. Okay, let's go into 2 of our toppers. Ankita Agarwal and Gamini now join me on the show. Appreciate your joining us. You're smiling there. Ankita, to you first. UPSC rank 236 rank in 2019. You try again 3 years later. Now you come second. Is this beyond your dreams, or did you expect you'd go as high as second this time?
No, I did not expect the second rank. I don't think anybody expects a top rank in the exam.
Gamini, did you also expect you'd be in the top 10, number 3?
Sir, yes, my family's faith was there with me. My father always used to say that you will be amongst the toppers. But yeah, this news is something I've not been able to process yet. So yes, sir, I think my family had trust in me.
Your family had trust in you. Ankita, you know what is striking, of course, the headline is that women sweep the top 3 ranks in the UPSC exams. We've come a long way from the 1950s when there were just a handful of women in the services. Social media celebrating it, many posting Amir Khan's dialogues from Dangal, Mari Chori Choros ki si kam hai ki. Women power showing up in the UPSC?
Yes, I think it's showing, and it's a matter of great pride and honor.
You know, I just put that statistic to you, Ankita. Of the 11,569 IAS officers who entered the services between 1951 and 2020, only 1,527 were women. Do you believe more and more women are now entering the exam? And do you believe that more and more women in the administration will make the IAS a better place, more responsive?
I think more women should join the service. both in terms of representation, that 50% of our population should be represented well in the services. Secondly, I think every time a woman enters the service, she acts as an inspiration for a lot of other women out there who might be struggling to convince both themselves and the larger society that she has it in her to make it to some of the best places in the country. So I think it's important, hence, for more and more women to be entering the services.
Do you think, though, Gamini, women will be more responsive to demands of the public? We've also seen a few unfortunate incidents in recent times involving women IAS officers also being tangled in massive cases of corruption.
So I think women can do great because I think they are multi-creative, I guess, and they have an ability to sink in a lot at one time. So definitely they are going to do the best. But I think that men also do very good. So I think we'll do equally well. So let's establish equality here and both will do equally well, I guess.
Ankita, what do you now that you're second, you have a choice of what you want to join, IAS, IFS, IPS. What is it that you want to do?
So my first preference is the IAS.
Your first preference is the IAS. There will be those who will be asking on this program at a time when a lot of young people want to get into the private sector. The public sector service, the IAS no longer has the same traction as it used to. What motivated you, Ankita, to join the public service?
When we were in college, we were fortunate to have professors who inculcated in us a sense of social responsibility to give back to society because we have been born in places of privilege. So I think it was that desire to be of use to the larger society that motivated me to join the services.
You know, you mentioned here being born into privilege. Nowadays, coaching is seen as key to competitive exams, and coaching can be very expensive. This is a subject of heated debates, even television shows. How do you ensure a level playing field, particularly for the IAS, for underprivileged students? Is reservation the only way out or something else? How do you ensure a level playing field?
I think access to coaching is a big issue across different competitive exams in the country. And one solution to this, which I have seen work quite a bit, is for a lot of civil society organizations, a lot of non-profit organizations to offer subsidized and often free coaching to students from disadvantaged backgrounds. And that is something that is happening. And I think it should continue and expand in a bigger form.
You know, Gamini, I asked Ankita, IFS, IAS or IPS, what's her pick? She's chosen the IAS. What is your pick?
So my choice is IAS, Indian Administrative Services.
Recently, and I just mentioned it, Ankita, I'm sorry to raise it today, an IAS woman officer was raided in Jharkhand, crores of rupees collected from her house. She's been arrested, suspended. Do you feel let down when you hear such stories? Does it leave you a little disillusioned even as you are entering the IAS?
I think in any organization, any institution, there are issues. There might be some who might not use their power for the purpose for which it was given. So, but I don't think as an institution I feel let down.
Gamini, do you also feel disappointed when you hear stories, IAS officers getting tangled with politicians, getting caught in corruption?
Sir, I think corruption is something which is there, prevalent everywhere. And yes, I feel disappointed whenever I hear a case of corruption, be it in the services or anywhere else. And I think that we together, with full honesty, we can curb this pollution. I think we should aim towards it.
Okay, let's turn to positive aspects. I want to ask the question everyone wants an answer to. Everybody has a different method to crack an exam. What's yours, Ankita? Did you just study for hours altogether? What was your magic mantra?
So yes, the exam does require putting in hours consistently for years on end. And I did study for, as you put it, hours together. But I did it in a manner that was sustainable, that I could take forward for not just days, and not just days or months, but for more than 1-2 years. So that was, consistency was my strategy.
You know, you said hours of hard work. A day in the life of Ankita Agarwal, all work and no play makes you number 2 in the IAS?
I would not say that, because that is not something anybody can do for years on end. So it was more work, less play for sure. But it was play when I required rest, when I required to cool down. There were moments of fun and relaxation.
Gamini, you want to also tell us your success formula, hours of study or no other way to crack the IAS?
Sir, my formula I would say is hard work plus strategy. And the combination of both can bring you really good marks and a lot of satisfaction. So these both things should be combined. It shouldn't be like you keep working hard and you do not have a strategy, and only strategy can also not do anything. So when these both come together, I think then we can see wonderful results. And obviously the blessings of your parents and God and your family. These three things when combined, I guess, then we can get through.
You know, you mentioned strategy 3 or 4 times. That sounds heavy duty stuff. Can you explain what this strategy is, Gamini?
Yeah, so strategy means that you go through the previous year question papers, you analyze the trends, you understand the demand of the paper, and then you carve out your strategy based on your weaknesses and your strengths. So we cannot copy anybody else's strategy because we are unique. So everybody has different strengths and different weakness. So I think that reflecting back upon your mistakes, that can be a part of the strategy, and seeing the previous year question papers and seeing how you have been performing in the test series. If it's not good, then why? And then working upon it comes as a part of the strategy. And rest is hard work, and it requires a lot of hard work, sir. And I think that there's no substitute to hard work. You will have to sacrifice a lot if you want to pursue an examination like this.
Well, that's true not just of the IAS, that's true of life. Ankita, finally, many hours of studies, you feel stressed. What is your stress buster? What's the one thing, one hobby, interest that helps you beat the stress? Music, sports? What's your stress buster?
It was actually a combination of multiple things. I like reading fiction. I would go visit my friends when I needed a break. I would sometimes watch TV series or go for a walk and things like that. No one fixed stress buster.
You mentioned fiction writing, web series. Any favorite author and any series that you binge on?
I don't have a consistently favorite author, but of late I've been reading Frederick Backman's books, and his books are very uplifting, very positive, and at the same time very entertaining. On web series, I would watch the very popular shows which have 20-minute episodes, because they don't suck you in and you tend to not binge watch. So shows such as Parks and Recreation, Schitt's Creek, these were shows I really enjoyed.
Okay, so what you're saying, you've given us a tip. If you want to crack a UPSC, no long binge watching web series, right? Keep them short, 20-minuters.
Yes, binge. I think everybody should stay away from binge watching excessively.
And Gamini, your stress buster, now that you've cracked it particularly, music, cricket, sports, books, what's your stress buster?
Music was certainly my stress buster, but I think more than that, it was spending time with my family. So when my parents used to come from work, we used to sit for an hour or 1.5 hours, and that was my stress buster, I think. We used to talk about things, and it used to lighten me a bit. And my brother was also there. So spending time with them was my stress buster, along with music, of course. And I used to go for walk regularly. I think having a physical activity is very important alongside. For me, it was constantly, every day going for a walk. I used to go, and that was something which rejuvenated me for the next day.
So all I will say, chalte chalte. Mere ye geet yaad rakhna. Keep walking in life, go well, make the IAS, your parents, your family, your country proud. Good luck to you, Ankita, Garima, and indeed to the women of this country who clearly are a step ahead of the men when it comes to cracking the UPSC this year. Thank you both very much for joining me. Our image tonight comes from the Louvre in Paris, the world's most visited museum. Mona Lisa, the masterpiece of Renaissance genius Leonardo da Vinci, was attacked by a visitor smeared with cream. It's the most viral news of the day on social media. Looks like there's no security at the museum as well. You stay well, stay safe. Good night. Namaskar, Jai Hind.
India's #1 political reporter.
Defines what seems to be happening, vendetta politics. कोई दूध के से धुला हुआ नहीं है.
Unmatched eye, unmatched experience.
The world has changed. My black hair has become grey as well.
And with unmatched passion for the story.
Do not monopolize the conversation.
When it's 100% pure prime time. It's News Today with Rajdeep Sardesai. Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. Only on India Today TV.
You are watching in
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
You are watching India Today. You are watching India.
Presented by Berger Easy Clean. No dag, no dhabba, only beautiful walls.